You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the June 3rd, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. We are going to call the meeting for the Board of Public Safety and Works to order. Today is Monday, June 3rd, 2024, and the time is 8:31. Mr. York couldn't be here today. He is currently out on a conference, so I'll be chairing the meeting. First order of business is roll call. Mr. Simmons?
Present.
Ms. Moore?
Present.
Mrs. Smith?
Present.
Mr. York is absent. I thought he might be on Zoom. And I myself is here, so we do have a quorum. The first order of business is to approve the meetings from the regular Zoom meeting from May 20th, 2024.
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
All right, the meetings are approved. Meeting minutes are approved. And our first agenda item is Angelo Sia from Romans Roofing LLC is requesting a canvassing vendor license for 1 year to sell their professional assistance with exterior renovation. Is somebody here from the company to speak on this matter? Can you come to the podium?
Good morning.
Good morning. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Angelo Sia. My address is 2027 Marlin Spike Court, Crown Point, Indiana.
Okay. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're requesting?
So I am part owner of Romans Roofing. We are out of Hobart, Indiana. We've been conducting business here in Michigan City the last, off and on the last 4 years. With the recent hail event, we've had an abundance of calls and abundance of new customers. And with all of that being said, we've had a influx of our guys just kind of going from door to door. And so instead of having any issues with calls or complaints, we'd rather just try to, you guys offer a solicitor's permit. We'd like to just get that so that way there's no discrepancies while we're there or our business there.
Okay. Does the board have any comments or questions?
No.
Quick question.
Yeah.
You say you've had an abundance of calls asking for help in this area.
Yes, ma'am.
And just curious, these customers that are calling you, how do they know to call you? Because your website in particular doesn't even address our area that you serve. How do you think your name is being out there?
So we promote ourselves predominantly on social media. So a lot of times on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we've truly tried to grow that out over this past year. We do, and if our website is unfortunately still in the works, the web designer that we used, full transparency, was like just kind of taking things off of an initial website that we had, and then in previous customers was trying to like mesh them together, and it's not going very well. But finding a good website designer, I don't do that, so it's something I can't focus on myself. But we do service Lake, Porter, LaPorte, Stark County. Majority of that is still here in just the Northwest Indiana region, but again, we get some calls. I think it's predominantly because of the social media outreach. And so, yeah, we really, I don't know how else to really say that, we get a ridiculous amount of calls and emails from that lead generation. But we do service this area. I don't know if I'll have to look into that, why it says that on the website.
Yeah, no, I was just curious. I have one question pertaining to us, I guess. Can I do that now? Do we know how many vendors we have approved to go door to door within Michigan City at the moment?
From my records currently, we don't have anybody going door to door for this type of thing.
So you're saying that currently there are no registered solicitors?
Yeah, no registered solicitors through the
Michigan City
city
right now.
going door to door.
I know they're going door to door because I've witnessed them. They just not following the procedures.
Attorney Beal.
Ms. Van Tisdale, if I might add something. So Amber and I spoke last week, and we knew that there are three roofing contractors coming forward this morning And I guess regardless of what the board does, Michigan City Code does provide guidelines as to what can and cannot be done, even if they're granted permission from the board, as far as no distribution on unattended vehicles, no distribution at houses. So to give a handbill to somebody, they have to voluntarily accept it. It can't be left at a vacant residence. And it provides hours of distribution as well. No posting on public property as far as on a street sign or anything like that. So, and I'll provide these to the contractors this morning if they're granted permission to do this.
Sure.
If I may, one of the things when it comes to our door-to-door services, it's typically either someone we're building or someone that called out. It's, just again, and you might hear it from the other contractors, it's easier to get business when you're doing business already, right? So if we're at a build and we're doing it, a lot of our guys will, let the neighbors know, hey, if it's gonna be busy this coming up Saturday, we're doing a roof, or this Wednesday through, Saturday, you might hear some nails and stuff, guns going off because we're doing this, and just so you know, hey, here's a $5 card for coffee. I mean, it's salesy, I get it, but we try not to just typically just, hey, we're gonna go walk an entire street back. We try to stay in the areas we're already working, and we kind of know where the damage is. We're also fortunate for us working with, I think it's the fire chief, a few of the firemen, I think 3 police officers. So we have a good, I would say, rapport with people in this community already. So if that helps, I mean, with anything, when it comes to decision making, I think that kind of has some weight to it, that there are people in the community that service community daily that have entrusted in us with our service. So.
Okay.
One more question. What's your
Yeah.
typical turnaround when somebody now comes to you? What is your wait time for
Sure.
projects?
So if that kind of really depends whether it's retail or it is going through the insurance. I would say a typical retail job is we're probably about 2 to 3 weeks out. That's based on a first, down payment. Can't do work without money, and some people have to maybe wait a little while, but they want to get those numbers in. When it's insurance work, I would say a typical insurance job is anywhere about 90 days. It can be just from the beginning of me meeting them to everything being closed out. And that's just, it takes time with insurance. Outside of that, though, we work with a public adjusting company who helps us get these settled a lot faster. So I would say we've been able to cut that time down to probably about 45 to 60 days. But still, on average, when it comes to insurance work, I'm talking to you like I would any homeowner. It's going to be about a 90-day from today if we started to the very end product. If that helps answer your question.
All right, my question is for Attorney Beal. What kind of insurance requirements are these roofers provided or required to provide just for ease of homeowners in Michigan City?
I know, were they submitted with the applications, each of them?
Yes, and they were all approved by general insurance, so we're all good to go.
Been
So,
approved and submitted by each person that submitted a application.
so every vendor who's applied has.
Yeah, all 3 of them here, all their insurance is good to go.
So. All right, any more board questions? I'll open it up for public comment. Is there anyone here from the public?
Good morning, board. Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. I would submit that the 3 petitioners here today should be approved as they're trying to do it the right way, as opposed to all the vultures that descended on our neighborhood after the hailstorm. I don't know if once they register with the city, they're provided with some ID card from the city saying, hey, we're authorized. If we don't provide that, I think we should. It gives them credibility, letting know homeowners that if somebody doesn't present that, they're not authorized. And hey, call, I don't know who you should call, or non-emergency number or the city hall or something. The other thing is we're all encouraged with progress in our town, and these folks help people improve their homes. So for that reason, I think since they're trying to do it the right way, as opposed to so many people who don't, that they should be approved for this. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Anyone online?
Uncle was on there and had his hand raised, but he's not on there at the moment. Council that's president or whatever. Address.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna close public comment. Is there any more questions from the board?
Once the vendors are approved, they do receive a ID from each one of their workers. So they will have that as they're coming by. So the public can look for those when they're knocking on doors. So
Thank you.
One more real quick comment for us,
Mhm.
is there a way we can let the public know who is approved? So that homeowners are alerted to the fact that if somebody comes that, hey, they're not an approved vendor?
I think that'd be a good idea.
I can work with Kelly on that, in the mayor's office.
Sounds good. All right, do I have a motion?
motion to approve.
Support.
All right, we will take the call. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. Congratulations. The city will be in touch with you to get everything squared away and get you your IDs.
Yeah, that's.
Well, thank you all very much. We appreciate
Sure.
it. I appreciate it.
All right, our second vendor's license is Zach Caniff from Gold Medal Roofing, and they are requesting a canvassing vendor license for 1 year for roofing sales and restoration. It looks like we have someone here to speak to this. Good morning.
Morning, my name is Zach Caniff. I am the general manager and owner of Gold Medal Roofing.
Can you please state your address for the record?
It is 437 Lincoln Way East, Mishawaka, Indiana, 46544. And I'm here for the same reason. My daughter actually lives in town. I live in Mishawaka, South Bend area, and her family was affected by the storm. So we actually came out to work, and we were here on a Monday, and I found out that you guys have laws against that. So we immediately came here and just seeked approval to actually do the right thing. And I know there is a lot of people out there that are not doing the right thing through talking with you guys the other day. So we just want to be on the up and up to where that we are all on the same page.
We definitely appreciate that. Do we have any comments for the board or the questions? No? Any comments from the public? Online? Okay, I will close public comment. Do we have any other questions from the board?
No.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Simmons and a second by Ms. Smith. I will call roll. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And sir, I gave some, this is just a copy of the code that provides some information on as far as handbill limitations and things. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Our third vendor's license is Jarek Arnett from Arnett Construction, and they also are requesting a canvassing vendor's license for 1 year for roofing, siding, gutter, soffit, and fascia repair.
Good morning. I'm not Derek Arnett, but I'm close. I'm Linda Arnett.
Hi, Linda.
Yes, we are requesting, we've worked 28 years in this county, in the city, in LaPorte. We've, like I said, been around for almost 28 years. And we've always tried to do the right things. And so we would like this license to be approved, please.
Okay. And do we have any comments or questions from the board? Any comments or questions from the public? Tom?
This is Tommy Kalavic from 1316 Ohio Street. These have come up in the past and they've always been denied. The most recent one was Restoration Builders came at the May 16, 2022 meeting, and the 3 previous board members, they denied it. And I think this opens up kind of a Pandora's box to all the contractors all the way from Chicago to South Bend to come knocking on our doors. And the restoration builders, 2 weeks later, they came back to the board and they wanted to put their marketing material on everybody's doors, and that's prohibited by ordinance. Y'all should know that if you have a no soliciting sign on your door, you can't come knocking. And the other is, probably more than half of the houses here in Michigan City are rentals. So I don't know about last time I lost my internet connection, but all these really need to be denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Scott Melantura, Kenwood Place. I was going to echo one of the things Tommy just brought up about the no soliciting signs. People always have the option of having a no soliciting sign, which I'm sure would be honored by professional door knockers. The other reason I came up here is like, is there a permit fee? I don't want a punitive fee, but there is a fee. I hope it's something reasonable, because this came up in the plan commission. I know it's a different board, but a lot of energy goes into the city approving, like the plan division, the minor subdivisions that were just approved last week, and there should be some fee for that service. And I don't know if this is the right board to bring that up, but I don't want things punitive because I don't want to dissuade people from working in Michigan City. But at the same time, the city has costs and staff that have to approve all these things. So it's always something to keep in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment? Any other comments online? Okay, I will close public comment. Are there any other comments from the board?
Just for the public information, there is a fee, license fee. Yeah. Just we want to clarify that.
Yeah, there is a fee that has to be paid before their permits and their ID badges are issued.
That fee is like $250 or something like that, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
Is there a safeguard of how many people we actually do approve? I mean, does it matter if we have 100 people come and ask us?
I wouldn't think so. This is,
yeah. I understand Mr. Klavik's concern about opening Pandora's box, but realistically, we have 3 people submitting, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So. Right, do we have any other board comments or questions?
motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Simmons and a second by Ms. Smith. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to, this is one of the things we do here. Today, and it has our information normally in it, but I didn't get a chance to do it this morning.
Thank you.
But we'd like to little appreciation. Or thank you so much. Everyone have a great day.
You too. Good seeing you.
Thank you so much, young lady.
All right.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All right, our next order of business is a request to use the You Are Beautiful lot for parking. We have Nick Pabin, president of Michigan City Firefighters, Local 475, and Shoreline Brewery are requesting to use the You Are Beautiful lot for their Firefest fundraiser at Shoreline Brewery, contingent upon the Redevelopment Commission on June 29th, 2024, from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. Go ahead.
Nick Pabon, president, Local 475. Before the COVID pandemic, we used to run an annual fundraiser at Shoreline. All of our fundraisers, the money we raise goes back to the community with scholarships, food baskets on holidays, Christmas gifts. So something we're trying to bring back. The request is pretty straightforward. I know that Shoreline has used that lot. I think it was Cinco de Mayo. So contingent on the approval from the, the Redevelopment Commission. Contingent on that, I would ask for your approval.
Do we have any board comments or questions?
So I talked with Amber about this and President York, they said that it can go in front of whichever board is first, whichever meeting is first when they submit it, just so that it's easier. So redevelopment commission can go first, or the Board of Works can go first. There's no issue with that at all.
Yeah.
Yes, you can approve it today.
Because the redevelopment's approval is contingent upon our approval.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Okay. You wanna say that into the mic?
No, I was just saying it looked like it's contingent upon their approval, so we can approve it contingent upon redevelopment's approval at their next board meeting. But my question for you is, when you say the use, what exactly are you gonna use it as a park?
Yeah, for parking. So we're utilizing one of their parking lots. So it's gonna cut their parking spaces in half. And then it's also the day of the parade too, so not really sure what the parking situation, we just wanna make sure we're covered.
And is that directed parking, or they'll just be parking?
It would not be directed. It would just be parking.
Okay. Sorry, do we know if EMA or police or anybody had any look at this? I know it was approved previously. I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
sure everybody that.
Have you talked with EMA or the police about this?
I have not, no.
And when is the event supposed to be held?
June 29th.
Right. Do we have any comments or questions from the board?
Just, you said that the parade's that day, I guess. How do we differentiate between who gets to park there and who doesn't if you're the one making the request?
I could not tell you an answer to that. I guess my response is that it might be wise to have parking for the parade as well. I mean, it's going to bring people to the city, spend money. So I couldn't give you an answer on differentiating them.
All right. Do we have any? I'm going to open this up for public comments. Do we have any comments from the public? June 17th.
Yeah, I got out of bed for this. Scott Mellon, 200 Kelwood Place. I certainly would encourage you to vote in the affirmative for this. That lot is commonly used for parking. For example, the Lebesnick Arts Fest. That lot holds a couple hundred cars. Given that there's another large public event that day, I would simply say that they should provide signage saying free public parking. And that would probably handle it. People are pretty good at self-organizing themselves when they say, oh, there's parking, I can park there. And it's good for the city, as he said, brings people in, and parking is one of the biggest headaches in our city for events. So I certainly would encourage you to vote yes for this. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments from the public? Do we have any online comments? All right, public comment is now closed. Do we have any other questions or comments from the board?
Just one question. Will you have personnel out there directing parking?
So the firefighters that are working, they're working. So this is going to be a volunteer basis from the union. So the individuals that we have working the event they're not going to be as firefighters on shift. And then it's hard to give an exact number of how many will be available that day. We'll definitely have enough to run the event.
Okay.
But we're not going to be requiring the fire department because they have to respond to emergencies.
All right, and their COI is all in order?
Yes, it's actually through General Insurance. They sent it directly over to me, so.
All right, what is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Contingent upon,
Yes. Motion to approve
redevelopment.
contingent of the approval of the redevelopment commission.
Do I have a second?
Support.
All right, we'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, our next order of business is a personnel issue. Tatanisha George from the Human Rights Director is requesting the approval of the new job description for the Assistant Human Resources Director, although the agenda says rights.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. George?
Good morning, board. I'm Tatanisha George, Human Resources Director, City of Michigan City. Before you is a request to approve the job description for the Assistant Human Resources Department. This is a position that has been long overdue. Currently, this is a staff of one. The Human Resources Department is one individual. Our regular employee throughout the year is about 384 people, and then in the summer that number inflates by an additional 100. So that's one person taking care of close to 500 employees through the year. So Mayor would like to have an Assistant Human Resources Director in order to make the department more efficient, to concentrate on some things that have been neglected in the Human Resources Department that can't be addressed because there's just not enough time in the day, so.
All right, do we have any board comments or questions?
So how does this affect the human rights department?
Well, what has happened is that when the code enforcement manager's position was created, a lot of the duties of the human rights director was put in code enforcement because human rights handle things such as contract compliance, contractor notifications and things of that nature. So those duties were taken out of human rights and put into the code enforcement manager's position. So the other duties that deal with EEO, discrimination, those duties have been added to the Assistant Human Resources Director's job description. So those duties will be addressed by the individual that's in this particular position, along with myself.
Will they still serve as director for the Human Rights Commission?
They won't be the director. They'll be more or less a secretary. They'll help with the board minutes. They'll help with the agendas, and sometimes the extra stuff, the extra administrative stuff that the commission may need. This position would be also helping the commission out with.
Thank you. Any other board comments? We'll open it up for public comments. Are there any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Any comments online? All right, we will close public comment. Any other comments or questions from the board? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We will call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well.
Thank you, board.
All right, our next order of business is a road surface repair request, and this is from Erica Murray, 3213 Springland Ave, and she's requesting to have the pitched road in front of her home due to groundwater getting too high and not being able to drain into the storm basin. Is Ms. Murray here today to speak on this? I see our city engineer is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tim Werner, city engineer. I got information on this late last week and I haven't had a chance to go out and look at it. I did look at Google Earth Street View historical. It looks like water's been standing along the curb line at this location for some time. I'll try to get out and get some elevation shots and see what we can do. We might be able to just grind the pavement down to make sure it can get to the inlet that's a little bit to the east. But I'll report back to the board at the next meeting.
Okay. Do we have any board comment or questions? No? Any public comment or questions? Any public comment? Any comments online? All right, we will close public comment. Go ahead.
Can we motion the table to the next meeting?
Which is June 17th.
17. Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the roll. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. This item is tabled until our June 17th meeting, so Mr. Warner can get a chance to go out and look at that. All right, our next order of business is a traffic control device. Eileen Westerkamp of 3017 Moore Road is requesting stop signs or other ways to reduce speeding vehicles and large semis down Moore Road.
Hi, good morning. I'm online and apologize for not having my video today. This is my third appearance before this board. However, the last time I was here was a couple of years ago. So I first briefly want to describe the road and then the problems and then maybe what we can do again to take a look at it. So if you're not familiar, Moore Road starts at Highway 12 at Notre Dame School. And it travels all the way to Lake Michigan and ends at stop 31 Beach Stop. From Highway 12, a couple of blocks, the road is rather wide. There's a sidewalk. At that point, you reach east access to Shoreland Hills, and there's a road going west to Long Beach. The road is Long Beach on one side, Michigan City on the other. At that point, there's no longer a shoulder. The road becomes very narrow. There's no, and there's a very steep hill that you ascend. By the time you get to the hill and begin to decline, you hit another access into Shoreland Hills. There's a short stretch of flat road. You hit a blind curve, and then you come to Lakeshore Drive. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, except Moore Road is a truck route. It's also the only pedestrian walkway, and there's no sidewalks to get to stop 31 for all the Shoreland Hills residents, as that's a HOA-owned beach stop. So people exit Shoreland Hills and begin to walk down Moore Road, and they have to walk on the street. Now, the thing that's changed most, I think, for in the last couple of years is there are tremendously large semis that speed down Moore Road. They carry earth-moving equipment. They carry big boulders to throw in the lake to protect the shoreline. You know, there's semi-moving trucks, appliance trucks, landscape trucks, as well as pedestrians, people with baby strollers and wagons and beach toys. There's people that travel in golf carts, electric bikes, bicycles. And the crazy thing is, and then of course cars, is everyone seems to speed. Now, I have a neighbor on the Long Beach side. Long Beach recently had a speed sign out, and about 55% of the people speed down that road. And we've seen a lot of close calls. There's often arguments between pedestrians and the vehicles. And I just wanted to give it another try with the new city council to see if there's anything that can be looked at. Engineers have been out before. They cut back the shrubs. They tried to mow a little bit along the shoulder so people would have a place to walk. Most pedestrians walk on the opposite side that they should be on, because between my driveway and my neighbor's driveway, there's a place that people can dive into should a car not see them, which is something that happens quite often. So in our opinion, and everybody that lives on Moore Road, it's very treacherous. And I've also talked to Nancy Maldonauer and let her know I was going to try to come today. My neighbor in Long Beach couldn't make it. She's been to the city council meetings. They seem more willing than the last council to help find an answer. So anyway, this is my third or fourth try to appeal for help to see if there's anything we can do, especially with these large semis. And by the way, the semis usually go towards Long Beach. The only other entrance to Long Beach is at Lakeshore Drive. And so that's my pitch. Is there anything that we can do to make this road a little more safe?
Thank you. All right, do we have any other board comments or questions for Ms. Westerkamp? Nope, we have Mr. Werner.
Tim Werner, city engineer. I haven't had a chance to talk to Officer Wright about this, to look at police enforcement issues and that for speeding. There's not a lot engineering wise you can do to control speed. I mean, we get posted at 5 miles an hour and people are still going to do 45, 50. So that becomes an enforcement issue. And as far as the heavy trucks on the route, if they're local deliveries of delivering rocks and whatever for construction in the area, there's nothing we can do to limit their access to those sites. So people that are getting the rocks delivered, whatever, the semis delivering furniture, and that's a delivery and that's local service on the road. So we can't limit that. But I'll talk with Officer Wright later on and go out and take a look and see if there's things that we can look at from both the city perspective and Shoreland Hills piece, and just see what might work. But I think it's been looked at, as she said, many times already before. There's not a lot of solutions. There's not a lot of right of way there, but I'll look at it. If you can table this item too, and we'll try to get some information back by June 17th meeting.
You know, just one thing I was thinking of, and by the way, Chief Lesniak in Long Beach has been involved too. We send him letters if it's a terrible, last weekend was a terrible weekend. You know, could there be signs just imposing greater fines, more warning signs, things like that to just make it more clear? I know last time they did add 2 25-mile-per-hour speed signs. Unlike Lakeshore Drive, which people usually don't speed on, people insist on driving very fast down this road.
Yeah, again, speed is an enforcement issue, so we'll have to talk with the police about that.
Right. All right, do we have any other board comments or questions? Do we have any?
Yes, I think that Mr. Warner's speaking with the police department. The district unit needs to pay more attention to the Moore Road. That's in his district, as well as other neighborhoods that are having speeding issues. That's something that can be handled or dispersed at roll call.
Do we have any public comment on this?
Hello, Scott Melantur, Kenwood Place. We have a lot of people that don't like how other people drive. And the suggestion often comes before different committees and boards that we have more signs, more lights, more cameras. Corporal Wright has already, in other comments, said, I believe it's actually against the law to stop signs aren't to control speed. In fact, it's against the rules to add a stop sign to control traffic. Clearly, stop signs control traffic, but to modify behavior, whatever. I sympathize for what Ms. Westerkamp is saying, but she lives in a very dense, popular area with a small, winding road. It has a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. And 2 different police departments to enforce that. I'm familiar with, I travel this route, and I generally, I hope the police aren't watching, speed almost all the time. I do my best not to speed there, given that it is very tight, dense, and seems like a speed trap to me. We can't control people's behavior as much as we would like. It is an enforcement issue. Also, there's very little access. There are very few access points from 12 through Long Beach and the beach area. Think of an emergency where people need to evacuate. We need traffic to flow. It's already 25 miles an hour. It's a very slow speed limit. It's an enforcement issue, as Jean has said, as the engineer has said, and I of course would encourage you not to add more signs. The roads must roll. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments from the public? All right, public comment is now closed. Do we have any other board comments or questions?
Yeah, I agree with Jean, of course, Scott as well. And would just suggest we table this till our next meeting as the engineer requested to give him some more information. And then we can revisit it again.
Okay.
Support.
All right, we have a request to table and a support. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. This item is tabled until our June 17th meeting. To give Mr. Warner time to look at this, our police department's time to look at this, and we'll get back with you. Thank you. All right. The next items on the agenda is the payroll docket and the claims docket. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
All right, we have a motion to approve from Ms. Smith and support from Mr. Simmons. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. All right, we have updates from Flaherty and Collins.
Good morning, board. David Albers, project manager for Flaherty and Collins. The big update is that obviously the crane is up and panels are swinging. So we're going to have that same operation going on for the next 3 months into September. So that is probably going to be my updates on the bi-weekly basis here. So if there's any questions or any issues, that's what I'm here to answer.
And how has issues been with road closures so far?
It's been great. Public's been great to work with, no issues.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the board?
Just glad to see the progress.
Yeah, so am I.
And you can see that crane all the way from the lake. It's very nice.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be impressive when the tower crane goes up for the apartment building in July, because then you'll have the 2 cranes going on the site at the same time.
Very neat and very exciting. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. And do we have any updates for special events? No, I know I saw Eric here earlier. I do know that the Singing Sands event is taking place this weekend. That'll be fun and exciting. Do we have any updates from the park department? No? All right, on to unfinished business. Councilman Don Prespolinski from 215 Gardenia Street has requested the following, and it was tabled from our March 18th meeting. To have city review refuse containers from 11th Street to Cool Spring and make sure they're all uniform. To have refuse containers added at bus stops in front of Walgreens, Homer Street, Franklin Street, the corner of Franklin Street and Homer Street, and kitty corridor to Albanos. And to have the refuse containers repaired at Warren Road, Franklin Street, the corner of Pine and Ripley, the corner of 7th Street and Washington Street by Barker Mansion. Do we have any updates for that? I know you have been plugging along at these.
Good morning, Sean Smith, Street Director, City of Michigan City. Everything's been taken care of on Franklin Street. The 3 refuge containers that Councilman Prespolinski requested to be repaired have been repaired. I'm actually in conversation with the planning department to get spares, but everything's taken care of.
Okay. So since everything on this punch list has been taken care of, do we have a motion to take it off the pending items list?
Yeah, motion to take it off the punch list as completed.
Second.
All right, and can we call for the vote? Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. Thank you for getting that taken care of. All right, we will open up the meeting for public comment. Do we have any comments from the public?
Good morning, Board. Scott Melantur, Kenwood Place. Just to circle back to Moore Road, trucks are legal users of the road. That's the road they have to use. A lot of work taking place in Lakeshore Drive, obviously, in that area. And for 100 years or more, I don't know how long Moore Road's been there. It's been without signage, and we've made it this far. I think we can continue. On to a more important matter. I was on the local Facebook page yesterday, and I did come across something that I experienced on the way here today, which are the new crossings at 11th Street, the new South Shore crossings. If you are northbound after a train leaves, so the arms are down, train goes by, the arms go up. The northbound lights remain red because southbound traffic on Washington and Franklin, and I'm not sure whichever other crossings, they get a green light. So the arms go up. You still have a red light headed northbound, a red traffic signal, red. The two cars in front of me proceeded through that red light after the gates went up, but the traffic control lights were still red. From what I understand is southbound gets a green first and a left turn arrow so people can turn onto 11th Street, turn onto the one-way 11th Street. So, and this was the same in the comments in the Facebook page, that people are essentially running the red thinking that something's stuck. So, but it's not. It's that the southbound traffic gets a green light and a green arrow while northbound traffic is still held for whatever, 15 or 20 seconds. But again, I experienced this on the way here. The two cars in front of me proceeded through the intersection while the light was red because the gates went up and they assumed it was time to move. So as much as I am against extra signs, clearly there's confusion about how those intersections now work for the drivers. And that is an actual safety issue. Somebody's going to pull in front of somebody turning left across the tracks and something good's not going to happen. And effectively, they're running red lights, but they don't realize they are. So I'm not sure how to address this. I just thought I would bring it to the board's attention. It is something I saw on the local Facebook page yesterday. And again, literally it happened in front of me on the way here today. That's it for me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment? Do we have any other comments online? Any comments from folks online? All right, public comment is now closed. Do we have any board comments?
Yes, perhaps we can advise Corporal Wright to check out the cycling issue of the lights at that location. 11th and Franklin, right? In Washington.
And we have Mr. Warner out in the audience nodding his head.
Yeah.
I have seen the same thing that Scott has seen, where the gates go up, the light turns green for southbound, but northbound is still, or southbound is still waiting for the southbound traffic movement. I haven't talked with NICTY and the Federal Rail Administration to see if maybe we can change the cycling of the light to a flashing yellow permitted turn rather than a protected turn, so that the lights go green at the same time, and then anyone who wants to make the left-hand turn can wait until the platoon clears and move. So I saw that happen on Thursday evening when I was leaving, where the gates came up and the people ran the red light. There was nobody turning, fortunately, but yeah, that's could be an issue, especially with the number of visitors we have here in town that won't be used for that signal working. So either we can get rid of the turning movement light altogether and make it just a protected or a permissive turn, or try to get a flashing yellow there in the cycle, but have them both go green at the same time. So I'm looking into that. I'll report back to the board at the next meeting.
Can I say something? I just want to, I sent out an email last week saying I'm going to be out of town starting next week for a week and a half, so I will not be at the next Board of Works meeting. So if you could please get your agenda items in as soon as possible, because I will be sending out the agenda as soon as on Friday afternoon, as soon as I get my last item, I will be available via email or text if you have any questions, but Wednesday and Thursday of June 12th and 13th and Friday the 14th, I will not be available at all. So, via email or text or anything. So if you please make sure you get all of your stuff in prior to the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have any other board comment?
No, I just think that it's imperative that we get an answer for that next board meeting because, you know, we're getting more traffic in the next 3 months and we don't want to have an incident without addressing it.
And can we go ahead and place that on the agenda for the 17th?
17th.
Thank you. All right, any other comments from the board? Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, and thank you.